Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane. We have for you a 1 versus 1 on Beaux Lowlands. Yes, indeed, Beaux Lowlands, as you may remember, having been featured several times, featuring the long winding road throughout the entire of the map, the bridge over the river, of which there is no name, the small barn and house in the eastern half, and of course the many fights over the river, acting as a natural barrier and usually also a natural front line. And of course this map is also particular because you can usually end up with a very large front, meaning you'll have to somehow be able to defend all points. In particular, if you just hold 2 points, it can get very dangerous, and with 3 you will be overstretched for most part. But let's have a look. We have Massimaliano once more as the American 4th Infantry Division Able Company, ready to take the fight to the Germans, holding the northern corner, and in the southern corner as the Germans 116th Panzer Division Panzer Grenadiers we have Rjgamer, Hauptmann RJ, ready to defend the fatherland and throw the Allies back into the sea. Now then, let's get this started, shall we? A Kettenkrad for the Germans. As usual, it seems many opting to go for the Kettenkrad. I personally also go for it, since I do feel the Kettenkrad does have a larger amount of utility. And the barracks going up close to the skirts of the base, and a outskirt, and engineers rushing out for point C. The reason I like the Kettenkrad is because the abilities that is cloaking, booby trapping and repair feels a bit more useful than the Schwemmwagen, which can lay down incendiary mines, mark targets, and lay down mines, regular mines in fact. And I can't help but feel that the Kettenkrad, with its slightly more utility based abilities, does a bit better work. And 2 Kettenkrads are in fact opting for increased territorial capture for the 116th Panzer Division and Panzer Grenadiers on the field. Second squad out as well, team. A squad is closer to 10 men and would usually be composed of several teams. Engineers on the way, and the first rifle team out for Major Massimaliano. So far no admonitions to Private Conrad. And Kettenkrad going for this vital munitions point, at least very good. It's a very fought over, since it covers a vast amount of territory and can be easily accessed from numerous points, and the large amount of cover from the trees and tree stumps does provide good cover for any infantry moving around. Panzer Grenadiers moving in to secure the area, probably having spotted the engineers who are now moving in, unawares that Panzer Grenadiers are moving in with the Gewehr 43s, opening fire on the engineers and completely missing them, although now they're taking cover in a small shed. Not exactly an ideal situation for the engineers, and they're probably going to suffer for it, and they can't even reach the
losing ground out
Panzer Grenadiers, although now riflemen are moving in from the east. And Hauptmann RJ should really consider moving his Panzer Grenadiers in to support the other team before they are overcome by the riflemen, who are now up close. 1 Panzer Grenadier down already. And RJ seems to have caught on to what is going on and moves in the Panzer Grenadiers, albeit a bit too late, since the other team has been badly beaten, and now a second rifleman team is hanging out at the outskirts of the woods. Riflemen seeking cover while the second team is moving in to provide support. Another rifleman down, face down into the dirt. And now the riflemen are moving in from the east. The Panzer Grenadiers are going to have to pull back, since they're now surrounded, although a third Panzer Grenadier team is on the field, might provide support. Although the Panzer Grenadiers are really going to have to retreat before they are killed, and may in fact be killed on retreat. Yes, dead. And you have to be careful about that, since the Panzer Grenadiers are quite vulnerable to losing entire squads, since they generally have so few men presenting what are there as very good targets. Riflemen opening fire, although looks like they may lose to the Panzer Grenadiers. Yes, 4 down, all wounded. Medic tent could have been useful to pick up, but that would have been a bit too early for that. Panzer Grenadiers also pulling out, perhaps a bit too early, I'd say. Could have been used to see some territory, then pull back. And a fresh Panzer Grenadier heading east to deal with the engineers harassing the Panzer Division's rear area, since this area seems to have been nominated as the hotspot and front line. Panzer Grenadiers once more trying to seize the strategic point, but are going to be caught out in the open by the riflemen, who are advancing. Gewehr 43 going to do something, seeking cover in this old building, not entirely sure what sort of construction it is. Probably some sort of storage building. Panzer Grenadiers having scared off the engineers now, giving this 116th full control of the eastern half of the map. 4th Division riflemen taking the munitions point, and an engineer team conducting a bit of harassment in the west. A lot of shifting back and forth in west actually between these fuel and munitions point. Either one is taking it or the other is. And seems a push is going on in the east. Riflemen supported by engineers, no flamethrowers though. And BAR rifles have been equipped for the Panzer Grenadiers. And a Kampfgruppe company is going up for the Panzer Elite commander. Looks like we'll have a bit of a lull as territory is being captured. No, Kettenkrad forced retreat under heavy BAR fire, and Panzer Grenadiers lolling about a bit, not really doing anything. Perhaps might want to consider moving out, and possibly the commander of the Panzer Grenadiers should consider getting defensive operations to begin healing his troops. In fact, I'm not entirely sure. I think a Panzer Grenadier team got wiped out. I'll have to check. Yup, a Panzer Grenadier team seems to have been completely wiped out. Again, a bit unfortunate. Seems like Rjgamer here, the German commander, seems to have a bit of a bad habit keeping his Panzer Grenadier teams alive. 2 lost, I think that's already a rather prohibitive loss of 610 manpower. But he is getting a half-track and defensive operations as I hoped he would. So he's certainly improving things, and incendiary grenades. Incendiary grenades not really good at dealing direct damage, but they can prevent the enemy from using cover in a much more nasty fashion, and can also be used to force enemies out of buildings, since if they stay in there they'll get burned alive. Although it seems like he's given up control of the western half for now, instead opting to amass all his forces in the east.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
Infantry half-track on the field, dashing out, not looking to move up with the infantry. In fact, that's a bit of a bad move. Infantry half-tracks and half-tracks in general should be used in cooperation with infantry and not on their own. A bit of fire on the riflemen, although so far not really doing anything. They take the point without much issue and pull out. Bit of fire here. A Kettenkrad lost. In fact, he has lost both Kettenkrads now. That's certainly a bit unfortunate. Riflemen continuing to move on. In fact, 4 teams it seems for Major Massimaliano, who certainly has the advantage now. Panzer Grenadiers moving up, although not... Yes, moving up to the half-track now, not entirely sure what he intends to. In fact, he has very little equipment to support him, only 3 teams of Panzer Grenadiers and a half-track, no Kettenkrads. I'm not entirely sure how he's going to keep up this in particular when Massimaliano is massing up all his riflemen with BARs at one spot, which is going to tear through the infantry half-track's armor very quickly. And a push on the eastern side. Panzer Grenadiers do have the advantage, I think, here at the slopes with all the trees. Incendiary grenade going off, going to burn some of the riflemen alive. In fact, causing heavy damage. Might even lose the entire squad. No, just barely getting away. And the half-track itself has been heavily damaged, and a new Kettenkrad is on the field. Not trying to repair the half-track though. He should consider being a bit more fluid in the movement with his Panzer Grenadiers, and he's getting a Panzer command. And those Panzer Grenadiers really could do the repairing, and he's gone for the tank destroyer doctrine, so now his Kettenkrad has repair equipment. Certainly interesting. He's certainly relying then on his doctrine to provide anti-tank assets for him, which is not currently what he has to worry about, since his opponent has gone heavily on riflemen with BARs, although currently here his Panzer Grenadiers are going to be in deep trouble once this solid squad and a half moves in on his men, and is going to probably tear through them unless he pulls off something very clever, since he has absolutely nothing to support them. Getting Panzerschrecks upgrades, perhaps not really what he needs now. Panzer Grenadiers caught out in the open really should pull back before they are torn apart by the heavy fire from the riflemen with their BARs, able to unleash a lot of firepower in a very small amount of time. In fact, suppressing the Panzer Grenadiers, who are now going to be cut apart. Again, you really have to be careful with your Panzer Grenadiers around riflemen hordes, as it can easily end badly, and it means that what little gain he had with 4 squads is quickly ended with loss on another. And again, pull out, retreating right through the horde of riflemen. This is going to end badly, I think. Stopping up, allowing them, and moving the riflemen along with them, allowing them to keep firing and blocking their path. Not really nice, not really nice. Panzer Grenadier perhaps making out alive. No. Not at all. And he really ought to have kept his half-track perhaps near those, and not been able to pull them out quick when he saw all those riflemen moving out, instead of trying to stay back and seize the fuel point. Your Panzer Grenadiers aren't really frontline troops like the others, and can't deal so well out in the open. And oh no! Losing another Panzer Grenadier team. Good lord, does he have no sense of unit preservation? This Hauptmann Rjgamer. This is really bad. 3 Panzer Grenadier teams in a very short amount of time. And even an armored car won't be able to make up for that. And moving in the half-track to somehow deal with it. It's no bad move. And the half-track is going to pay for that now, getting stickied. This is very, very bad looking for Rjgamer, in fact. He has barely anything left, and now he's trying to rely on armored cars. This is not good at all. Dealing with the riflemen out in the open, although not doing any kills at the moment. Further fire causing 1-2 down. Rjgamer really needs to coordinate his efforts and preserve his infantry much better. As so far, his skills haven't really been that good. He's suffered needless losses repeatedly, and now is seemingly trying to rely only on armored cars for the most part, which can easily be dealt with in a nasty way, and losing another Kettenkrad. Good lord.
Our supply lines are broken. We have
this is certainly not good. Armored car opening fire on the riflemen, keeping at range, which is good, Trying to stay away from the sticky bombs. Should continue moving in. No, oh no. Barely making it away. Hammering through a local fence. Now the armored car moving up to provide support. Riflemen suffering some losses. Shouldn't stop with that armored car, and it's probably going to be destroyed now by that